So I thought I would do this small video to kind of explain my position and the reason I believe this is necessary. So as you know, on my channel, I try to focus on positive things. I try not to be adversarial. I want even people who disagree with me, I want to be able to have a conversation. And I would like to thank everyone in my comments section, because I believe that's been happening. We don't all agree. We don't all see things the exact same way. And there is a huge amount of discourse that goes on about what we like and what we dislike. In covering the Rippaverse, I've noticed something. Now, I'm going to tell you what my expectations are. I can't speak for anyone else. If you remember Image Comics launching, I believe it was 1992, 31 years ago, it wasn't without fault. There were definitely problems with the launch of Image Comics. They had issues, they had kinks, but fans by far and large were very happy with what Image Comics put out because we were fans of the artists. We were fans of the inkers, the pencilers, and what they put out was a good product and it was fan service. It was not without flaw. My expectation of the Rippaverse is not a comic book company without flaw. My expectation of the Rippaverse is not perfection. I do not believe books will be released without something here and there that can be improved. I mean, everything can be improved. Sometimes I read, I read the big two, I would say, the big three, Image, Marvel, and DC. I still read comics from those content houses, and I enjoy these things. Now, that doesn't mean they're perfect. I focus on things I like, and sometimes, yes, I deal with things about these comic books that I'm like, man, I didn't particularly like this or that. That's fine. The issue I'm seeing, especially when it comes to the Rippaverse, now Eric July has his haters. He's a grown man. He can deal with that. Again, I don't want to make this too negative, but we understand the climate that we live in. There's people who do not want to see him succeed because of his ideals. What he provides, in my humble opinion, when I read one of his books, is fan service. There's a good story. There's excitement because the story is actually good. The characters are actually interesting. It's not because the book is perfect and without flaw. I'll read a comment that someone posted in my comment section. I won't read the person's name because this is definitely not an attack. If you happen to watch this video, I appreciate you engaging, but I think you may misunderstand the excitement around the Rippaverse. So here's the comment. YouTube reviewers and their comment sections about iSum number 2 are fascinating. In your comment section, people are comparing the writing and art of iSum number 2 to iSum number 1. They are saying how much iSum number 2 is an improvement. Back when iSum number 1 came out, YouTube reviewers and people in their comment section were unwilling to compare iSum number 1 to any other comic book. They probably knew such comparisons would hurt Eric July's business, so they just said iSum number 1 was good. Now that they can say Eric July's writing has improved, they are willing to compare iSum number 2 to iSum number 1. Fascinating. Now, my response to this was as follows, and definitely not an attack. I appreciate this person commenting on my YouTube video. I said, I understand your critique. It is definitely not unwarranted. I will, however, argue there wasn't an unwillingness to compare Eric July to modern comics. We just understand this is a new, read my own comment. And as a new venture, it won't compare to modern comic book companies given their long history. We understand. We don't expect Eric July to come out the gate swinging at these major content houses. I believe that's an unreasonable expectation. But what we expected was something good that we enjoyed. And I believe he exceeded those expectations in story and art. Some people in my comments have brought up issues with the panels. Look, it is not without flaw. When I say Eric July improved in every area and addressed all of the issues in ISUM number 2 that were brought up in ISUM number 1, I mean that. That doesn't mean that you won't find something in this book that is like, this can be improved. But he is improving. I would say that to be a guy that has really the entire industry against him, I've gone to all of the big comic book blogs and websites. None of them are covering the Rippaverse. Now, he does have people, I guess, that he argues with on Twitter. Again, I try not to focus on those things. I want my channel to be palatable for all people, even those who dislike the Rippaverse. I cover Image, I cover DC, I cover Marvel, and any other comic book that I happen to be interested in. I would say to those people who view those of us who are fans of the Rippaverse as though we're biased and we don't see any flaw, that is far from the truth. What we see is a new comic book venture that's offering fan service, that's not focusing on peripheral things outside of comic books. He's just bringing us great stories, building a new universe that we all enjoy and are excited about. We do not expect perfection, just to be clear.